Okay, shut up, Eric.
I mean, we just got that on the recording, so it's cool. First thing they'll hear. Okay, so I just have my dry, this is the Navajo fry bread. All right, so I just have my flour, baking powder, and salt in here. And I'm gonna add my milk in. And then I'm just going to kind of bring this together, and then I'm going to knead it. I'm kind of curious how this is going to turn out. So we will see. All right. Yeah, I'm kind of curious how it's going to turn out. There's like hardly any liquid. There's like no liquid. The recipe only calls for 2 tablespoons of milk for 1 cup of flour. And I gotta tell you, this is not, yeah. Yeah, it definitely needs more milk.
What is that, Chef?
It's supposed to be the Navajo fry bread. But the recipe calls for 1 cup of flour and then 2 tablespoons of milk.
Yeah, that's not right.
It's not right. Yeah, this is, and it's just, I don't like this. I'm not gonna use this. I don't like this. Okay. So I just went ahead and re-mise en place. There definitely wasn't enough milk. So here I have about 5 tablespoons. So we'll see how that turns out. If it's too liquidy, that's okay, because we're gonna knead it anyways. So I'm gonna knead it with more flour. But it should start to come together. At least a lot better than that other one did. See, that already feels so much better. Sorry, I have to, someone's in the waiting room here. Okay.
What all is that, Chef? That's milk, say baking powder and flour
Powder and salt.
and salt. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so here I had 5 tablespoons, and that seems to be doing the trick here. So definitely double that amount of milk that the recipe calls for.
Okay.
All right. So I really don't want to knead this too much. So it does spring back when I touch it. I don't want to knead it too much because we are working with all-purpose flour. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it rest for a few minutes and then I'll come back and portion it. I just don't want to bother it too much. So what I'm going to do is let this rest for a few minutes on my plate here. Yeah, definitely 5 tablespoons. Okay. All right, let me wash my hands because I have dough all over them. All right. All right. So dough rested a few minutes. Now I'm going to unwrap it. It's pretty small in size here. I'm actually probably just cut it like a little pizza. You want them about the size of an egg anyways. So here we are. About the size of an egg. That one is one turn. Okay. So I'll put my plastic back over those. And we're going to continue to let those guys rest. All right. So now what I'm going to do, these don't need to sweat that long. It just wants to come right out, just like that. These guys are very, very hot. All right. So the chilies have been peeled, seeded, and diced up. And here I have all my dry ingredients: cornmeal, flour, the baking powder, sugar, and salt. And now I'm going to add in all of my wet ingredients. Before I do that, I'm going to kind of whisk up my eggs. This is just kind of going to help it combine. You don't want to overmix your batter. So just kind of whisk those up lightly. And our creamed corn. We have 1 cup of sour cream. Let me go get a spatula here.
But this is our jalapeno bread. What was the other one?
That was the Navajo fry bread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's 2 different types of bread going on here. So this one's the cornbread. The Navajo fry bread is right here. It's resting. Okay. So it's resting right there. All right. 1 cup of sour cream. And then I'm just going to start to combine these just a little bit, and then I'm going to add in those chilies. If you want, you can even add in some cheddar cheese and have the cheddar jalapeno cornbread going on. That'd be fine. All right. I'm going to add in these. I don't have it completely mixed in all the way yet. All right, you still see partially mixed. right? Anytime you're adding in a mix and you want to give yourself some time to incorporate that in. All right. Get all that off my whisk. And I'm just making sure it has all those dry ingredients off of the bottom. All right. Now I have my heavily sprayed cast iron here. And this is gonna go right in.
You didn't get sour cream? It was like in a.
I did. I put it in.
Oh no, someone said they didn't get any. It was in like a little tub, guys.
Yeah, it was in like this. Yeah. All right.
I didn't. It was a little bag of chicken broth, guys. It wasn't like the actual chicken broth for the polenta. Right, Chef?
Yeah. The base, chicken base.
Yeah, I had some left over, like you said. I had some left over too. That's what I used.
Wait, the base? I used all the base for the soup. So we were supposed to split that in half.
Yeah, with the polenta.
Maybe that's why my soup was weird.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that base definitely has some flavor. So, all right, so all I did, I just evened it out. It's nice and flat. So now it's going to go right into the oven. This will take about 30 minutes, 30 to 40. So I'm going to set it for 30 and then I'll check on it.
We have to have a cast iron, Chef?
No, you can use a baking pan would be fine.
Okay. Oh, like a regular baking sheet. I think I have a cast iron. I used that really nice one, but it's gone.
Yeah, I like my cast iron. Actually, my in-laws go gambling a lot. And so when you go gambling and you go to Vegas a lot, you tend to get a lot of free things. And that was actually, they got a whole set of cast iron products. So they had like a cast iron
What?
fry pan, a cast iron pot, that cast iron. So they ended up giving me some of them. So I was like, oh, I'll take it.
Does it say to use a cast iron, Chef, or does it say to use a cooking tray?
It says you can use either one.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right.
The cast iron will probably give a more crispy.
Yeah, the cast iron is definitely going to give it more of a crispy crunch than that baking pan. Will make it a little bit softer.
Yeah.
Chef, my friend was baking bread the other day, and he used a cast iron, and he put his cast iron in the oven first and made it really hot, and then he put his dough in. What if we did that? Would it make it crusty, like the edge a little crustier?
A little bit, but it's going to be in the oven at 400 for 30 to 40 minutes, so it will be pretty crusty as is.
You think that's not necessary?
No, I don't think it's necessary. Not for a cornbread. It's going to be in the oven for so long anyways. All right, so now our dough here has been resting, so I'm going to try out one of them here. So I'm going to get my rolling pin. All right, flour. So after I roll it, I'm going to allow it to set and rest for a few minutes too before I put it to fry. All right. This doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like, it doesn't have to
Pie
be.
crust?
What?
Not like pie crust?
No, not like pie crust. So just, you know, make sure it's flat, make sure it's even. That's more important than the necessary shape of it. Try to make it round, you know, don't make it square, but. And as I'm rolling it, the dough is just slightly sticky. So just use that flour just to prevent it from sticking. Okay. Yeah, so that was like perfect. I ended up with 4. You know, my dough was so small, just cut it into quarters. All right. So, I'm gonna grab a fork. All right, so I'm gonna start with the first one that I did. So I have them stacked here. I'm gonna start with the bottom one. And I'm gonna poke some holes so that way it doesn't bubble up. Okay. And let me get my tongs. All right. So it should fry for a couple minutes on each side. Now I'm doing a pan fry here. It's not a deep fry, just because I don't have that amount of oil on hand. And I can already see it getting a lot of color, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip it over. Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
This is bread we're making?
Yeah.
Crazy. Looks like a pita bread. Is that what it's reminding me of?
Yeah. Or like naan bread.
Naan bread?
Naan. N-A-A-N.
Does it say to poke the holes in it, Chef?
Yeah.
It probably does, huh? Yeah.
Nice. I'm gonna set it aside. I'm gonna do the next one here.
I think I'm gonna have my grandma actually watch me do this. That way I can blow someone's mind. Look, I'm frying bread.
I'm gonna taste here in a second. I almost like have that urge to salt it again, because you guys know me.
It's definitely gonna need salt, Chef.
Yeah, I feel the urge to salt it, so I'm actually gonna salt it.
There was a couple of times yesterday when I was cooking, I was like, she would say more salt or not. So I just put in salt without trying it, and you know what? I tasted it at the end, and it was perfect.
So, oh, sorry. I have my bread here. I did salt it.
You put a little salt on top of it?
I did. I felt it in my gut that it needed it. So make sure that your dough that's resting, make sure you keep it covered so it doesn't dry out. Okay. So, oh, it's still really hot. All right, give it a few minutes. Cool down. So I did turn my heat down just a little bit. Oh, it looks beautiful. Now you don't really even need to, it just like, you know, I don't know if you guys could tell on camera, but it does puff up, and that's that baking soda, or baking powder that's reacting to the heat. So if you can see how it's puffed up. Oh, it looks so pretty.
Dang, chef, I wish I did mine like that.
How
'Cause
did
mine,
yours?
mine didn't puff up like that. I deep fried it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It still should have puffed up though, but I wonder if it had to do with the amount of milk that you had. Because the 5 tablespoons that I had put on there, the dough's very soft. It's
Yeah, mine was kind of firm.
yeah, it's very, and I wonder if it just has to do with the amount of milk that you had put in, because I know you were saying you eyeballed it,
Yeah.
and I think that because it was a little bit dry, so you could see it,
Hmm.
you know,
I was thinking maybe I overworked the dough.
you might have been that too. You have to remember the type of flour that we're working with, and
Mhm.
all-purpose is very, very easy to overmix. So that's why as soon as it came together, I was basically okay, all right, I'm done.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, because you are going to continue to work with it, right? We shaped it and then we rolled it. So you are continuing to work with that flour, even if it's not just in that initial time.
Okay.
So if you have extra ingredients, you know, it wouldn't be a bad idea to just try again, just to,
I think I might.
yeah. I mean, the ingredients are so simple.
Yeah. I still have the oil too, so I might as well. I saved the oil.
Yeah, I maybe half a cup of oil here for my, and then this is an 8-inch pan. All right, so you guys can gauge based on that, depending what kind of pan you're using.
Wow, that does look so nice.
My sauce came out for the first time.
Oh yeah?
It was wonderful.
Good. Good, I can't wait to see pictures.
I do. I gotta send you a picture. I did. The lighting sucks, but you can still kind of see it.
The one for the duck,
Yeah.
that one was so good. Oh my god.
All right, last one here. While that one's frying up, I actually want to taste it and kind of show you guys the texture of that inside. Oh, look at that. You guys can see how fluffy it is.
It's like a bread
You know-
pancake.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of?
Pancakes?
It reminds me of an unsweetened donut.
Oh.
Which is weird because there's no sugar in it. It totally reminds me of kind of like a donut. That's good though. That salt on top, I would definitely salt it.
Okay.
All right, last one.
And what are we serving this with, Chef?
The potato soup.
Oh, that's for the potato soup. Okay.
All right. So there's that bread. And I don't know, hopefully you guys can see that. You see how soft it is?
Super
Very-
soft.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
that looks really good.
Like kind of doughy, but not.
No, not, I'm gonna call it doughy.
Is it like the way, like maybe like you want a cookie when it's done?
No, like, I mean, honestly, I would describe it like a donut when a donut is done.
Just a dough. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's very soft. All right. I'm actually going to make note of that on that recipe too. To use 5 for next time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clean up my area and then I'm going to get set up to start that chili. Of course, you know, we won't be on Zoom long enough for you guys to see that final product, but of course I'll take a picture. So I'll at least get started. Okay. So let me clean all this up. All right, so I'm all prepped up for our chili here. I have my pot, my oil's nice and hot. I am just going to season up my meat. I'm actually going to do it just right here. And then I'm going to drop it in that oil. All right, if you need to do this in 2 batches, don't hesitate to do so. I think I'll be able to get it all in a single layer though. Okay. All right, so I was able to get it all in a single layer. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to brown it on all sides, and then I'm going to remove it from the pot. So you can see we got some nice browning happening. So if you guys haven't noticed, hopefully you guys have by now, a lot of what we do is repetition, right? It's just a change of ingredients. So if you know why we're browning this to begin with, it's because this chili is more like a braise, and browning it is how we're going to get our color. Right. So as you're doing this, you want your heat on about a medium-high heat. Okay. So we can get the color that we want. It doesn't take very long to brown it. And my timer is going off for that cornbread. So I'm gonna let this sit for a second. I'm gonna go check on that. When you're checking on your cornbread, you should be able to pick it, and the center, it should come out nice and clean. So my cornbread is done. Only took 30 minutes. Came out nice and clean. It's got a beautiful golden brown color. I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, and then I'll show you guys. So my meat is brown, so I'm just gonna remove it. Now I'm gonna add in my pot here. Salt and pepper. We're gonna let those sweat. Oh my god, it already smells good. It's like hardly anything happening yet. And it already smells amazing. All right, I'm actually going to add my dried oregano in right now. I want that oregano to go in as soon as possible because it is a dried herb. So I want those dried herbs to have time to soften. So I'm going to saute those up with my mirepoix here. Okay. I'm going to add in my garlic. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. All right. Now I'm going to add back in my meat and all of my juices. And now I'm going to add my stock in. And actually, forgot to cut up my tomatoes, so I'm going to add this in. I'm going to turn down my heat, cut up my tomatoes real quick, and then add those in. Okay. So once you have those tomatoes in, you're going to bring it up to a boil, and then you're going to reduce your heat. All right. Reduce your heat, and then you're going to continue to simmer that for about an hour. Really, you're looking for the tenderness of your beef there. So if yours need a little bit longer, don't hesitate to let it go longer than what the recipe says. Okay, use your guys' judgment on that. So I am cutting up my tomatoes here. I just need to remove the seeds first before I chop them up. So we don't want any of those seeds in the soup.
You're gonna simmer your tomatoes in with it right now, Chef?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so my tomatoes are raw, so you can see.
Okay.
I was gonna ask if you boiled them to remove the skin.
You can. You can definitely do that and then remove the seeds, or just at least remove the seeds. And I'm just kind of roughly cutting them here since they're going to simmer anyways. And they'll break down during that cooking process, so you're really not going to be able to tell the cuts of these.
But this does look like it's going to be a bit of chili.
Yeah.
Yeah, this chili, it's not very brothy. I think like a traditional chili.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little more, I'd say, thicker.
Does it say you're not adding like a broth to it right now or anything? Like what's in there is that's gonna be what simmers?
I added half of a cup of stock.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to add these tomatoes. The tomatoes, as they cook, will release their juices, so you'll have some juice from that. But yeah, it's
That's fine.
Yeah.
Chili should be thick.
You added stock, Chef?
Yeah, half a cup before I started to cut up my tomatoes here. I added in the meat. Then I added in that stock.
We have was it beef stock? Did we get beef stock?
Yeah, you got beef base. You got that beef base.
Oh, we got beef base. Okay.
Yeah.
So just dissolve dissolve a little bit of it in a half a cup of water.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm adding in chili powder and my cumin now. I'm reserving some that I will probably add in towards the end of cooking. And then I'm going to add more salt. All right. And then just stirring that up. And then I am going to set this aside. It is going to braise for about an hour, but keep an eye on it. All right. You should be on a low heat. If you notice that your liquid is starting to reduce too much before you're done, add in more. Add more water into it. Okay. Maybe,
Okay.
you could even add in probably 1 cup of water and then that beef base, just to be on that safe side. That wouldn't be any issue whatsoever. Okay, so you can definitely do that as well. All right, so you can see my liquid to meat ratio is pretty equal. All right.
Then you're not gonna add any water to the end or base or anything?
If I need to.
Okay.
Yeah, if I need to, definitely. So right now I'm just bringing it up to a boil. I'm gonna turn it down and then cover it and then low simmer for about an hour. All right, so there's coming up.
No cover. Okay.
I'm gonna set it aside and then I'm gonna come back with that with that cornbread so you guys can see that final product. Okay. Sorry, my hot pads are over here, and even though that cornbread's been out for about 10 minutes or so, it's still really hot. There's my cornbread. All right. Oh, it's so soft. You guys can see that. And it filled up my cast iron. It's like right to that rim. All right. Taste test. Let me get a small plate. First piece never comes out cute, whether it's pie or cake. All right. All right. There.
That looks amazing.
Oh my! I smell the chilies.
I've never had fresh cornbread before, like fresh homemade cornbread.
Oh my gosh, dude. I tried a piece. Julian made this, and when he made it, he gave me some of his. Dude, it was like so good.
It is
I've
so
been
good.
waiting to make this.
I need to put some butter on it though for my personal taste. So
I've literally been waiting to make this.
Yum.
I'm gonna melt some butter right on top of that. Oh, all right, there it is.
Let's see.
So you can even plan it accordingly. Make your chili first, and then then make this. So you can serve it together. But it's piping hot. So
Yum.
all right. So when my chili is done, I'll take a picture and send it to you guys so you guys can see that final product. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Chef.
Mhm.